Esto es Supply Chain Now in español. So we're here at Home Delivery World 2025 and we have a very interesting guest that we have been wanting to talk to him since we saw him on the, I'll call it, lineup of speakers. So how are you, Joel?
Doing well. How are you?
We're doing great. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who are you? What do you do? Uh, and yeah, basically a little bit also about your company, that when you know what we're talking about, you'll get as excited as we are.
So I am the Director of Logistics and Operations for Tecovas, the boot company right here in Texas. And obviously we're here in Nashville today, but a store is only a couple blocks away. I'm responsible for everything in the logistics world. So if it's moving the boots in from León, where we have multiple factories, 6 at this time, up to our Dallas distribution center in Dallas, where we also now have 43 stores as of last weekend across the United States. And we will be finishing this year out with 54 stores total.
That's amazing. For people who do not locate where León is in Mexico Central part. It is a very known city where they manufacture leather goods, not only boots, but interesting to know that this brand manufactures there. Could you share, well, just curious because could you share some of the complexities that you face from manufacturing there and shipping to the US? And maybe this you'll answer in your panel, right? But all the tariff implications that we will see.
So Paul Hendrick, who created the company now 9 years ago, knew he wanted to create a boot that was essentially broken in from the first try. And so he traveled down to León, Mexico, and knocked on factory doors until he finally found a factory that would accept to take an order from him. And started with an idea, found one factory, and we have now grown to 6 separate facilities down there. Paul didn't speak any Spanish at the time. I don't speak any Spanish, even though I'm born and raised in Texas. I can you can see all my emails in it. But what is amazing is the Mexican factories really took Paul under their wing and have grown with him. And I'm sure everyone understands that all the factories are either owned by brothers or cousins or some family member down there in León. So when you're down there, you're part of their family. And Tecovas, you know, only 9 years old, but having gone from 0 to we'll probably do close to 400 million in sales this year, we become a bigger and bigger part of their family. So the difficulty was actually never dealing with Mexico or the Mexico factories. It is the rapid growth and getting the United States of America, specifically U.S. Fish and Wildlife and Customs, to understand who we are and getting our boots across, because the volume has just increased so exponentially year after year.
That's amazing and interesting that you shared a bit of how these companies, these manufacturers work. I think that's a very unique thing in León and in many cities in Mexico, but this like mentality of being a family-owned business that is not only, it does not only manufactures, but it's more a craftsmanship, right? And a tradition that goes through generations, right? So I'm loving that this product is made in Mexico. And interesting also what you share about how this challenge of the US market breakthrough.
Yeah, so we initially started off with just e-com, so we would only sell to our people who bought online. Paul realized early that he also wanted to open retail stores, and the retail stores are unlike any other boot location. Instead of walking into rows and rows of boots by size, you walk in and you pick a boot. While you're there, we'll offer you a bourbon, we'll offer you a beer, we'll get to know you a little bit, and we'll help fit you to that exact boot at the time. Well, that has really, of course, opened the market up, because people are much more willing to buy an e-com type purchase if they know there's a retail location close by. And again, that's with the growth of Tecovas. One of the most, the factories in Mexico are always willing to produce more product for us because we're a great customer of theirs, and we're a great, have great, ownership of the product with them. It's been getting into the United States. You mentioned tariffs. Luckily, we only had 2 days of tariffs that affected our boots that crossed. We begrudgingly played those tariffs to the United States of America, but they were due at the time, and so that's gone now. And so we are again, moving the product across with no tariff. It has caused some disruption, but luckily everything seems to be back to normal now.
Nice, great to hear. Hopefully, in every other product across the world, we can say that. Um, what is a word? Well, and I think we in the pre-round, right? We talked about it, but what's a word that you know in Spanish and that you constantly say?
Well, the words I constantly say in Spanish I won't say on here, but no, it's obviously the product we made are boots, botas, and what I'll honestly say is I don't speak Spanish very well. I read it very well. I've made it quite clear through all my years of working with all the factories and the customs brokers and everyone on the Mexican side. If you need to interject and get my help, make sure that it's the subject line or the start. But I have definitely learned to understand when there's any issues at the border or anything else from just the written word of Spanish better than the spoken word.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time. This is a very short interview, but we'll definitely try to get someone from Tecovas, from your team, to also be on our show. I think it's very interesting how their network works and how they're growing as a brand, because I believe that, a boot brand that is less than 10 years old, trying to gain market share, I bet it's complex.
We're the third largest boot brand in the United States now. Obviously, I'll say names. It's okay. Justin, they're an amazing brand. They put their boots down in León as well. Ariat, same thing. Tecovas is now right behind those two boot brands, and we're doing it not necessarily by stealing customers. We're creating our own new customers that are probably first-time boot wearers. We get plenty of people like myself who have been lifetime boot wearers, but Tecovas is creating an entire new niche of country boot wearers, which is impressive and very important to me because we're creating brand loyalship from the first purchase.
And creating also this whole experience around it.
Yeah, 100%. Come to one of our stores. You'll never go to another location.
We'll definitely go. Thank you again, and this is Supply Chain Now en Español.